Have you ever felt a little down? A little sad, perhaps? Perhaps melancholy? You know, where you're just kind of in a funk, you're in a rut, and you're not really sure why or how to get out of it. You recognize that things in your life, they might actually be pretty good. You've got a lot to be thankful for, but you just can't get yourself motivated to feel good about your life or to be motivated to take action and do all the things that you want to do. I get it. That's what happens when you're stuck in a rut. But today we're going to talk about very specific things you can do to bust out of that, remain motivated, to be excited about your life, and to move on past those feelings of ruddiness, funkiness. You know what I mean. So if you're finding yourself in that position right now, because a lot of us are, it's 2020. Everybody's feeling that way to a certain extent. If you're finding yourself in that position, then watch this video. I have a feeling it's going to be really, really, really useful. So a couple times a year, probably, I find myself in these just funks where everything is generally pretty good. I got nothing to complain about, yet I can't get myself motivated to work or be excited about the things that used to excite me. And whenever I recognize that's happening, whenever I find it a struggle to sit down and do the work that I'm honestly excited about, to make videos like this, I take a step back and I say, okay, I'm in a little bit of a rut. What do I need to do about it? Well, fortunately, I wrote a post a long time ago about 10 steps to get out of a rut, and I'll link to that below, but I've never really shot a video about the steps that I walk through to break out of that rut, and honestly, it works tremendously well. The things I'm going to talk about, like this is actually what I do when I'm in a little bit of a funk and I need to get out of it. I just follow these steps, and honestly, it helps make things a lot better really quickly. That's not to say if you have clinical depression or more serious issues, you should go get help for that. You should go talk to a certified, counselor for that. I'm not that person, but I'm going to tell you about what works for me when I just need a little bit of a boost, a morale boost, an energy boost to get back to doing the stuff I love to do. First thing, take pride in the things around you. So often what I find is when I get in these ruts, it's because my space gets cluttered. My house isn't clean, my desk is a mess, and the old saying, cluttered life, cluttered mind, cluttered work, like it's cliche, but it's true. And so I find myself not taking pride in the nice things that I have in my life. I've got camera lenses strewn out about. My car is a mess. So one of the first things I do when I'm in a rut is I clean. I pick everything up, I tidy it up, I organize it, and immediately that just helps release a little bit of the weight on my shoulders and feel a little bit better, because it's very easy to be stressed out and depressed when everything around you is in disarray. But when everything is in its place and it's all put together, just makes it a little bit easier to feel good about yourself and to focus on other aspects of your life. I've been really good at decluttering, at keeping everything super clean. It's made a world of difference. Just ignore that stuff. Okay, so the second thing I do once I've got a clean space is I go back to basics. I focus on what I call trigger habits. So these are the things you do early in the day that once you do one of them, it triggers another habit, and it makes it more likely for you to do things that are going to be positive for you throughout the day. So for instance, I know if I wake up and the first thing I do is drink a big glass of water, I'm more likely to then go work out, and then make a healthy breakfast, and then meditate. And when I do all of those things, then I want to be productive throughout the rest of the day. I already feel a little bit accomplished. You kind of cross off those boxes, especially when they're relatively easy to do, and you want to tick off more boxes. You want to be productive, and it feels good. Every time you can say, okay, drank that glass of water, got my exercise, meditated, made my healthy breakfast, you're like, oh, sweet, I'm doing great things for my life. This is awesome. And usually when I find myself in a rut, I'm not doing those things. So it's a very simple thing you can do to start triggering more positive actions that are going to make you feel good. All right, third thing you need to do to get out of a rut is bring the subconscious conscious. So usually when I find myself in a bit of a funk or I find myself kind of anxious and stressed out, it's because there's something very specific that's actually stressing me out. But because it's this kind of low level, right below the surface thing, I don't always, articulate what that is. I don't think about what that is in a conscious manner. So when I say bring the subconscious conscious, I want you to take 5 minutes, take 10 minutes, just think. Just be like, what's causing me to be anxious right now? Why am I stressed out at the moment? And usually what you'll find is there's a very specific thing or very specific things that you haven't done. Maybe even putting it off because it feels hard or it feels like a lot of work. But all of a sudden that starts causing anxiousness and stress. So by bringing the subconscious conscious, you can start to recognize, oh, these are the things I need to do. And guess what? Once you do them, you usually feel a hell of a lot better. Funny how that works. So if you don't watch the rest of this video, if all you do is clean up the space around you, focus on your trigger habits and doing positive things for your mind and your body, and bringing the subconscious conscious to actually think about the things that are stressing you out, I'm willing to bet 80% of the time, that's all you need to bust out of your rut, start feeling better about your life, start feeling more excited. Do that every day for a week, you're gonna be in really good shape. But guess what? Sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes you need a little bit more, and I've got more for you. This is gonna be a hard one for a lot of you. Brace yourselves. I'm sorry, but it's true. You need to detach from your phone, because if you're anything like me, you have a technology addiction, a phone addiction. I've done videos about this in the past, but most of the time when I'm in a rut, my default action is I just scroll. All I do, I'll spend 4 hours a day just scrolling, not doing anything productive. And you know what you feel after that? You don't feel good. You just basically feel like everybody else is doing stuff and you're not, because that's kind of what happens on social media. So what I recommend is take a digital detox. Get away from your phone, get away from your computer, get away from all of that stuff for a short period of time, just a day. Go for a walk in nature. Have a real conversation with a person in your life. Journal, do some writing. And that's going to allow you to take a step back, reflect on where you are, and start breaking the habit of being addicted to this. Because this, honestly, is one of the biggest causes of falling into a rut for all of the reasons that you already know about. Real quick, right now, while you're watching the rest of this video, leave a comment below. Tell me your #1 tip for getting out of a rut. What do you do to help yourself feel positive and to break out of that? Let's create a resource for everybody watching this video, so even if my tips aren't the best for you, then maybe your tip is gonna help somebody else out. So just drop a quick comment right now. I would love it. I would appreciate it. I would love to see what you do. All right, next up, break your routine. Chances are you're just doing the same thing every day, especially if you're still quarantined, especially in quarantine time. It'll drive you insane. So do something different. Do something to break your routine. Go, for a little road trip. Go for a day trip. Go someplace else. Go to someplace new around you. Pick up a new hobby. Pick up a new skill. Do something different. And do that every day this week. Because if you do it just once, then it's pretty easy to fall back into your same routines and your same thing that got you into this mess to begin with. But if you do one thing new every single day for the week, you're gonna start to create new habits, and you're gonna start to create new routines that revolve around, having an adventure, that revolve around doing something different. So what I'd recommend is make a list of some things you've been wanting to do, some things that seem interesting, some things that seem exciting, and take the time to go do them. I know that it can be kind of difficult if you're quarantined and supposed to be in your house, but you don't have to go far. You can do a lot of things within the comfort of your own home that are still different and still help you form a new routine. Another thing that has been really helpful for me when I'm trying to break out of a funk, when I'm trying to get out of a rut, is to make everything as easy as possible. If, let's say, I'm like, I should probably work out today, and I have to go scroll through laundry baskets to try and find my clothes. If I don't know where my running shoes are, and I'm looking all over the house, if my headphones are dead and then I gotta go charge them. If I do all that, then the chances are I'm not gonna go do that positive thing for myself. So make everything as easy as you possibly can. If you know that, exercise is going to help you break out of your rut, then take your exercise clothes, your shoes, your headphones charged up, set them all in one place. So all you have to do is go put them on and get out the door to go do your exercise. Same goes for work. If you know that the best way for you to get down to business is to have a cup of coffee, a candle lit, and some noise-canceling headphones, then make sure your headphones are charged right at your computer. Make sure you set a timer on your coffee maker so that it automatically makes it first thing in the morning. The goal here is to remove as many barriers as possible so that when you do get excited and when you do get motivated to take those actions and do those positive things for yourself, you can do them without any friction. Okay, the next thing might seem a little woo-woo, but honestly, it works. And that's to simply write down a list of things in your life that make you happy. Maybe they're past experiences, maybe they're people in your life, maybe there's things that are in your life, but oftentimes when we get in a rut and we get in a funk, even though we consciously know we've got a lot of good things in our life, we don't think about those. We don't dwell on those. We dwell on the negative things. So take a few minutes today, get out a journal or something, and just write down all of the things that you're thankful for, all of the experiences that you're happy about, all of the things that make you feel good. And my guess is by the time you're done with that, even just that one action alone is going to make you feel a little bit better. This is a huge one for me. And that is when I'm in a funk, one of the things I probably haven't been doing is writing. For me personally, my whole life and my success all comes down to writing. All the blog posts I write, all the video scripts I write, all the emails that I write, all the messages I write to people, all the forum posts in our Location Rebel Academy, it's all writing. And oftentimes, like when I get into a rut, I'm not motivated to do that. So one of the best things I can do is create a goal for myself, create that trigger habit where, I start writing 500 words a day, get into that routine where I'm writing, whether it's blog posts, whether it's emails, whether it's just journaling. But I know for myself, when I write, I feel productive. And when I feel productive, I feel better about myself. So for me, when I get into a rut, a big part of the reason is usually because I'm not being productive. I'm not getting work done. And sometimes when I'm overwhelmed, it can be tough to know what to focus on. So writing is kind of that thing you come back to. No matter what I do, writing is going to be a positive thing and have a positive effect. And if you haven't gotten into a writing habit, we've got a whole video on that below that I'll link to, but it's one that I highly recommend, and especially if you're looking to build a lifestyle business, if you're looking to build anything online, learning how to write, becoming a better writer, and making the time to do it on a regular basis is going to have a huge impact. Finally, the last thing I recommend you do to get yourself out of a rut is to focus on the process rather than the results. It can be really easy to just look at the scoreboard, be like, well, I quit my job recently, started freelance writing, haven't made any money yet, and you get super frustrated and you get upset. You get into a rut, you get into a funk. And focusing on the results can often have that effect because so much of that isn't in your control. You can't control if someone buys your product. You can't control if someone hires you for a job. What you can control is the process and the effort you put into it. So rather than focusing on the fact, oh, I haven't made $10,000 in a month yet, focus on, I'm going to send 100 emails. I'm going to send 100 pitch letters. I'm going to write 100 blog posts. Focus on the process and the things you can control, because then even if you do the process and even if you do the work there, you're going to feel fulfilled. You're going to feel like you've been productive. And over time, the results are going to come. Results don't just show up for themselves. You have to have a system, you have to put in the work, you have to have a process. And all too often, new entrepreneurs and people online, they get so wrapped up in the results that they fail to really focus on the process. So that's what I would encourage for you. Focus on those trigger habits. Focus on the space around you and keeping it clean. Focus on your mental well-being and doing things that you know are going to help you have more of a positive outlook and help you feel a little bit better. And if you do that, I promise you, not only are you going to get out of that funk, but the results are going to come as well. Honestly, this year has sucked. This year has sucked for so many people. So if you've been feeling a little upset, a little sad, a little depressed, a little funky, a little ruddy, you're not alone. A lot of people are there with you. I have gone through ups and downs with all of this as well. And that's why I shot this video, because these are the things that I have done in my own life to help me just feel better about where the world is going and where I'm going. And I guess one final tip is, with so much chaos going on, with so much stuff with the election and the pandemic and all of this stuff, focus on the micro rather than the macro. Don't focus on elections you've got no control over. Focus on the small things in your life that you can do and the outlook you have that's going to make a lasting difference. Oh yeah, one last thing, and this is a big one. This is a bonus one. Go spend some time in nature. Go find a forest. Go find a snowy meadow. I don't care. Go find something outside and just spend some time out there, away from the world, away from your phone, away from technology. I promise you, do that for an hour. Game changing. That's what I'm trying to do. It's had a huge effect. If you like this video, make sure to hit subscribe. We have videos that teach you how to build small businesses that you can run from anywhere in the world, including your house, that give you more freedom and more time to do the things you love to do. If you want help with that, go to locationrebel.com/YT. We've got a free 6-day course that's going to help you get started with a lifestyle business, walk you through all the steps to get going so that you can start building that this week. Yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you like it, hit subscribe, do all the things, hit the bell so you're notified, and we'll see you on the next video. I know it's been a while since I've been here. I'm excited to be back, excited to be shooting these videos with you, and we'll talk more soon. Peace.